The life and legacy of Aretha Franklin, the undisputed Queen of Soul, is a tapestry woven with threads of musical genius, personal struggles, and cultural significance. Born on March 25, 1942, in Memphis, Tennessee, Aretha Louise Franklin emerged from humble beginnings to become one of the most influential and celebrated artists in music history. Her journey, marked by both triumphs and tribulations, offers a compelling narrative that extends far beyond her chart-topping hits and Grammy Awards. Aretha's early life was shaped by the dynamic and often tumultuous environment of the African American church. Her father, Clarence LaVaughn Franklin, known as C.L. Franklin, was a prominent Baptist preacher whose fiery sermons and civil rights activism made him a celebrated figure in his own right. C.L. Franklin's influence on Aretha's life and career cannot be overstated. He recognized her prodigious talent early on and nurtured her musical gifts, introducing her to the world of gospel music and the art of performance. However, the Franklin household was not without its challenges. Aretha's mother, Barbara, separated from C.L. when Aretha was just 6 years old, leaving Detroit to return to Buffalo, New York. This separation had a profound impact on young Aretha, who maintained a close relationship with her mother despite the distance. Tragically, Barbara passed away when Aretha was only 10 years old, a loss that would deeply affect the future singer for the rest of her life. Despite these personal hardships, Aretha's musical education continued unabated. The Franklin home was a hub of musical and cultural activity, with frequent visits from gospel legends like Clara Ward and Mahalia Jackson. These influences, combined with Aretha's natural talent and her father's guidance, laid the foundation for her future success. Aretha's transition from gospel to secular music was not without controversy. Many in the church community viewed her move to pop and R&B as a betrayal of her gospel roots. However, Aretha never truly left gospel behind, infusing her secular performances with the passion and spirituality she had honed in the church. This unique blend of sacred and secular would become one of the defining characteristics of her sound. The early years of Aretha's professional career were marked by a series of challenges and setbacks. Her initial recordings with Columbia Records, while showcasing her undeniable talent, failed to capture the raw energy and emotion that would later become her trademark. It wasn't until she signed with Atlantic Records in 1966 that Aretha truly found her voice and began to make her mark on the music industry. The late 1960s and early 1970s saw Aretha Franklin at the height of her powers. Hits like Respect, Chain of Fools, and A Natural Woman not only dominated the charts but also became anthems for the civil rights and women's rights movements. Aretha's music spoke to the experiences of African Americans and women in a way that few other artists could match. Her powerful voice and emotive performances gave voice to the struggles and aspirations of millions. However, Aretha's personal life during this period was often in stark contrast to her professional success. Her marriage to Ted White, who also served as her manager, was marred by allegations of domestic abuse. The pressure of fame, combined with personal struggles, led to periods of depression and substance abuse. Yet through it all, Aretha's commitment to her craft never wavered. She continued to produce hit after hit, cementing her status as the Queen of Soul. The 1980s brought new challenges and opportunities for Aretha. The changing musical landscape, with the rise of disco and later hip-hop, forced her to adapt her sound. Her appearance in the film The Blues Brothers introduced her to a new generation of fans, while collaborations with younger artists helped keep her relevant in an ever-changing industry. Despite occasional commercial setbacks, Aretha's artistic integrity and the power of her voice remained undiminished. Throughout her career, Aretha Franklin was more than just a singer. She was a cultural icon and a symbol of African American pride and achievement. Her performances at significant historical events, including the funeral of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the inauguration of President Barack Obama, underscored her importance not just as an artist, but as a voice for her community. Aretha's influence extended far beyond the realm of music. She was a trailblazer for women in the music industry, demanding respect and equal treatment in a field often dominated by men. Her insistence on creative control and fair compensation set a precedent for future generations of artists. Aretha's success also helped to break down racial barriers, with her music appealing to audiences across racial and cultural lines. Despite her public persona as a strong, confident woman, Aretha was known to be intensely private about her personal life. This privacy extended to her health struggles in later years. When she announced in 2017 that she would be retiring from touring, many fans were unaware of the extent of her health issues. Her final public performances, though fewer in number, still showcased the power and emotion that had defined her career. Aretha Franklin's passing on August 16, 2018, was mourned around the world. The outpouring of grief and tributes from fellow artists, politicians, and fans underscored her immense impact on music and culture. Her funeral, a day-long celebration of her life and legacy, featured performances from some of the biggest names in music, each paying homage to the woman who had influenced and inspired them. In the years since her death, Aretha's legacy has only grown. The release of the film Respect, starring Jennifer Hudson as Aretha, introduced her story to a new generation. The film, while taking some liberties with historical accuracy, captured the essence of Aretha's journey and the challenges she faced on her path to stardom. One of the most fascinating aspects of Aretha Franklin's career was her ability to reinvent herself while staying true to her core artistic identity. From her gospel roots to her soul classics, from her forays into disco to her operatic performances, Aretha demonstrated a versatility that few artists can match. This adaptability was not just a matter of following trends, but of bringing her unique perspective and voice to different genres and styles. Aretha's impact on other artists cannot be overstated. Countless singers across multiple generations and genres have cited her as a primary influence. Her vocal techniques, her phrasing, and her ability to convey deep emotion through her music have been studied and emulated by aspiring singers for decades. But it wasn't just her technical skills that inspired others, it was her authenticity, her commitment to her art, and her unwavering sense of self. The story of Aretha Franklin is also inextricably linked to the story of Detroit, the city she called home for most of her life. Aretha's rise to fame coincided with Detroit's golden age as the center of American automobile manufacturing and as the birthplace of Motown. Even as the city faced economic challenges and social unrest, Aretha remained a proud Detroiter, often using her fame and resources to give back to her community. One of the lesser-known aspects of Aretha's career was her commitment to civil rights and social justice. While she was not as outspoken as some of her contemporaries, Aretha used her platform to support causes she believed in. She performed at numerous benefit concerts, offered financial support to civil rights organizations, and was a strong advocate for education and youth empowerment. Aretha's relationship with her father, C.L. Franklin, remained a significant influence throughout her life. Even after she achieved fame and success, she continued to seek his approval and guidance. C.L.'s shooting in 1979, which left him in a coma for 5 years before his death, was a devastating blow to Aretha. Her grief and the loss of her most important mentor had a profound impact on both her personal life and her career. The 1980s and 1990s saw Aretha adapting to a changing music industry. While her classic soul sound was no longer dominating the charts, she found new ways to stay relevant. Her duets with younger artists, her appearances in films, and her willingness to experiment with different musical styles all helped to keep her in the public eye. This period also saw some of her most memorable performances, including her last-minute substitution for Luciano Pavarotti at the 1998 Grammy Awards, where she performed Nessun Dorma to standing ovation. Aretha's later years were marked by both triumphs and challenges. Health issues, including problems with her weight and a battle with pancreatic cancer, began to take their toll. Yet even as her public appearances became less frequent, her influence on the music industry remained strong. Her final album, A Brand New Me, released in 2017, showcased a voice that, while perhaps not as powerful as in her prime, was still capable of conveying deep emotion and musicality. One of the most intriguing aspects of Aretha's career was her relationship with other female artists, particularly those who were often seen as her rivals. Her supposed feuds with Dionne Warwick and Patti LaBelle were the stuff of music industry legend, often fueled more by media speculation than by any real animosity. In reality, Aretha maintained respectful, if sometimes competitive, relationships with her peers, recognizing their talents while always asserting her own preeminence in the field. Aretha's impact on popular culture extended far beyond music. Her fashion sense, particularly her penchant for fur coats and elaborate gowns, became iconic in its own right. Her hairstyles, from her bouffant wigs of the 1960s to her more natural looks in later years, were often imitated. Even her diva-like behavior, including her fear of flying and her insistence on being paid in cash before performances, became part of her legend, contributing to the aura of mystery and larger-than-life personality that surrounded her. The question of Aretha's musical legacy is one that continues to be debated and discussed. While her influence on R&B and soul music is undeniable, her impact extends to virtually every genre of popular music. From pop to rock, from country to hip-hop, traces of Aretha's style and approach can be found everywhere. Her ability to take a song and make it entirely her own, often eclipsing the original version, was a skill that few artists have been able to match. Aretha's personal life, particularly her relationships with men, was often a source of speculation and gossip. Married twice and the mother of 4 sons, Aretha faced challenges in balancing her career with her family life. Her first marriage, to Ted White, was particularly troubled, marked by allegations of domestic abuse. Yet through it all, Aretha maintained a fierce devotion to her children, often bringing them on tour with her and involving them in her career. One of the most remarkable aspects of Aretha's career was her longevity. From her first gospel recordings as a teenager to her final performances in her 70 seconds, Aretha remained a vital and relevant artist for over 6 decades. This longevity is a testament not only to her talent but to her work ethic and her ability to connect with audiences across generations. Aretha's relationship with the music industry was often complex. While she was undoubtedly one of the most successful and respected artists of her time, she was also known for her tough negotiating style and her insistence on controlling her own career. This sometimes led to conflicts with record labels and promoters, but it also ensured that Aretha maintained a level of artistic and financial control that was rare for artists of her era, particularly for women and people of color. The final years of Aretha's life were marked by a renewed appreciation for her contributions to music and culture. Honors and accolades poured in, including Kennedy Center honors, multiple Grammy Lifetime Achievement Awards, and even an honorary Pulitzer Prize. These recognitions served as a reminder of Aretha's enduring impact and her status as one of the most important cultural figures of the 20th and early 21st centuries. Aretha Franklin's legacy is multifaceted and far-reaching. She was not just a singer but a cultural icon, a civil rights activist, a symbol of female empowerment, and a beacon of African American achievement. Her music continues to inspire and move people around the world, transcending boundaries of age, race, and culture. The power of her voice, the depth of her artistry, and the strength of her character ensure that Aretha Franklin will be remembered not just as the Queen of Soul, but as one of the most significant and influential artists in the history of popular music. As we reflect on Aretha Franklin's life and career, we are reminded of the transformative power of music and the ability of a single voice to change the world. Aretha's journey from the church choirs of Detroit to the pinnacle of global stardom is a testament to her extraordinary talent, her unwavering determination, and her ability to connect with people through her music. Her story is not just one of personal triumph, but a reflection of the broader struggles and achievements of African Americans and women in the latter half of the 20th century. Aretha Franklin's influence continues to be felt in the music industry and beyond. Her songs are still played, covered, and sampled by artists across genres. Her vocal techniques are still studied and emulated by aspiring singers. Her fashion choices still inspire designers and fans alike. But perhaps most importantly, her spirit, that combination of strength, vulnerability, passion, and artistry, continues to inspire people to find their own voice and to use it to make a difference in the world. In the end, Aretha Franklin's greatest legacy may be the way she used her extraordinary gift to bring people together, to give voice to the voiceless, and to remind us all of the power of music to heal, to inspire, and to change the world. As long as there are people who appreciate great music, who value authenticity and emotional truth in art, and who believe in the power of the human voice to move hearts and minds, Aretha Franklin will be remembered, celebrated, and cherished as the one and only Queen of Soul.